Freaking out, man. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth.
What do all men in power want? More power.
My name is Luca Zanna. I was an Italian by birth, and I became an American by choice. Our lives and freedoms are in danger. This is not a dream. If you're listening to this broadcasting, you are the resistance.
All systems go.
Welcome to Love, Guns, and Freedom.
We're not afraid. You work for
Hi everybody, this is Luca Zanna, and you're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom on K-Talks 1340 AM and on United States.fm network. This is for me like living in a dream, seriously. As much as sometimes I wake up, I think I'm in a nightmare. But think about, for a guy like me, I grew up in Anzio. This is a little town outside Rome. Was born in Italy. And since I was a child, I wanted to become an American. Sometimes these dreams don't happen, okay? And then, of course, I came here, my late, pretty much, youth, when I was about 28, with a lot of dreams, a lot of fears, a lot of hopes. And, of course, excited. And at the same time, you start to realize that this is the country that you dreamt is dying. It's dying because, unfortunately, we let it die. And there is an enemy inside that has been planning this killing of this republic a long time ago. And, as a new American, I took an oath, to defend this country, its constitution. And the point is, it still broke my heart. I had a lot of moments that I say, oh my gosh, I wish I came here, maybe 50 years ago, when America was still the America that probably I idealized when I was in Italy. But you know what? Maybe that wasn't my plan. Maybe it was the plan of somebody else. Maybe we must be here now because we are pretty much called to defend this republic. And I'm just a regular guy, I'm what I have. I just have an accent. I'm here on the show. I just try to wake up my friends and my fellow people that I know. But at the same time, I realize that any one of us, as regular people, we can do so much. I'm using Facebook lately, of course, to promote the show, to find like-minded people, engage in debates. But what I like really about that is give me hope that there are still a lot of people out there, individuals, that without any type of, big microphone or television show or anything, just with a little webcam, they put themselves on this webcam and they start to inspire thousands and thousands of other people. And this type of people give me hope. So I'm here, sometimes I struggle, sometimes I really feel like, oh my gosh, we're going to make it. Regardless, we're going to fight. Regardless, we're not going to give up. Regardless, one day we will be judged. Whatever happens here, I don't know. But I know that we will not give up. And there is a man that I really, it gave me a lot of inspiration. Him and his stepson. It's funny that the stepson was on my list like the last 2 years. This is the guy that I talked several times about, refusing in his school district, in his school, to remove this NRA t-shirt. And he stood his ground. And I say, this guy gives me hope. This young man is the type of man we need for the next generation. But you know what? Then you realize that young men like this don't happen by accident. There is a family behind, a mother or a father who share these values. That's why it's so important, the family, because we need to try to preserve the next generation educating. Now, let's go to the point. My guest today, it's a man that inspires me a lot. First of all, he's a veteran, and I believe now more than ever, we need veterans who want and they will uphold their oath to defend this republic against all enemies, foreign and domestics. We're not going to win this battle, even if it's just a battle of ideas with just us. We need everybody. We need peace officers, we need veterans, we need every Americans. I don't care what type of person you are. If you believe in freedom, the Bill of Rights, and this Constitution, you're a brother and sister of mine. Now, his name is Alan Lardieri. Alan, are you there?
Yes, sir, I am, and I appreciate you having me on here, and of course it does take a real Italian to pronounce another Italian's name, and I thank you for that.
Okay, tell me how you pronounce that, or at least how the Americans pronounce that, people that were born in Italy. Go ahead, please. How do they say it?
There are several very interesting variants, especially, when I was serving. It's pretty neat the way people would say it. They'd say Lardieri, Lardieri. Like, there's all kinds of different spins on it, but yeah, I like the way it sounds coming from a more native tongue. Sounds pretty good.
Perfect. I'm always fascinated, not only as in America, but I also like to know, because, for example, myself, I'm the first generation. I came here probably, I don't know if it was your father or your grandfather. I'm the first people came here and, starting this new life in this new country. Who was the first people who came to America from the whole continent on your side, on your family? Your father or grandfather?
This was a great-grandfather. His name was Pasquale Lardieri.
Wow.
He came from a region that was around the Adriatic Sea, and he came here just around the turn of the last century.
Wow. So it's like you've been here for a while. It's not like just the first generation or second generation. You've been here for a while. Interesting.
Oh,
Did you ever find any photos or memorabilia or some sort of passport or things like that are always so fascinated about these stories? Do you have anything left of his life?
Unfortunately, no, sir. Nothing that I just beyond something that's a digital file or something that I've pulled up. I mean, I got the name of the boat that the family came over on. Of course, some names and some lineage back to Italy itself. But that's about the extent of it.
Interesting. I'm just now we'll go to the interview. People say, "What are you talking about? This Italian love affair?" Yes, I'm very excited about this stuff. Do you know the name of the town of the? I know you say Adriatic Sea. What part? The region? Maybe it was Marche, Abruzzo. Which part of Italy was your great grandfather came from?
Offhand, I do not know, sir. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I don't know. I think the latter one you said there actually rang quite a bit of a bell, but out of fear of being inaccurate, I'd hate to say it's an absolute certainty, but that did kind of ring a bell slightly.
Okay, anyway, I'm just curious because I have a part of my family, they were from Marche. That is exactly on the Adriatic Sea. Anyway, back to us. This is always exciting. And the point is, guys, this is the show. We are here as Americans, and we have all different backgrounds. I don't care how you pronounce your last name. Could be, British, could be Irish, could be German, could be Italian, Japanese. Who cares? We Americans. We stick together now. We stand together, and we want to, even if we don't agree on everything. The point that we are in danger. Alan, you realize that. You did some great videos, by the way. I really like the way you present yourself in a simple but straight, direct way. And you try to warn other fellow Americans to start to do something. And give us a little bit, first of all, about your background. You're a regular guy, but not that regular. I mean, you have an interesting background, even in the military. Who are you?
Well, basically, I am. I'm like America as a whole. I'm a big mutt. I'm a mixture of a lot of different things. I was born actually in Cleveland, Ohio. I lived in between there and West Virginia, and which you can tell by the way I talk, which is really odd. And here in West Virginia, I sound like I'm from the north, and here up in the north there, I sound like I'm from West Virginia. So I really don't fit in anywhere. I'm a big old mixture. I'm half Italian, half Irish. I grew up mostly here in southern West Virginia, where we are very rural people. Everybody pretty much knows everybody else. Coal mining. I am a coal miner. I'm actually fighting the government right now on some of the horrible things they're trying to do to actually literally kill us as far as the regulations they do. But before that, I was in the United States Army. I was in the Army National Guard. I served overseas in Bosnia in the post-Bosnian Civil War. I was there 2 weeks before Kosovo actually kicked off, so it was very interesting to be on the ground before an actual conflict began, be in place. Got to see a lot of that. I got out in 2001 just before the World Trade Center bombings in the Pentagon and in Pennsylvania, and unfortunately, I tried to go back several times. And, I hear a lot of people say, they send me messages, and I just wanted to let them know, they said they really wanted to serve. And even though I done served, and this happened, I know exactly how they feel and how helpless you feel, and that you almost feel in the sense worthless that you can't go out and you can't fight. But I found a new fight, and that's here at home, unfortunately. And what the people, like I said in the video a year or so ago, I never would have made a video like that because I never felt it necessary to make a video like that. The times have unfortunately and have certainly changed. And anybody who feels that they wanted to serve, I tell them that unfortunately I think you will have to serve, and it'll be the most important and stressful conflict that this country's ever seen since it went for its own independence. And that's where we're at right now.
Yes, and can I say something? You say the most important really thing, I have a lot of friends out there that they feel the urgency to do something. And, I'm just a regular guy, but I went through this. I'll tell you something, maybe you don't know about me. I grew up in Anzio. I was born in Rome, and World War II was a pretty big deal. Anzio's a little town because it was part of the landing. Part of my family was pretty much spread out, hiding in the mountains. Pretty much they had days counted. Nazi occupation was pretty rough, and my grandfather was on the list. Was one of the guys that's supposed to be killed. So for me, the American landing was just another war. It was pretty much the idea that if today I'm here, I can speak and talk, and my mother was born, and my family grew up, because many other people died on the beach of Anzio. So I really came to America with an idea. I wanted to give something back to this country. And of course, I didn't know yet many things. When I was 1999, I remember still in Cahuenga Street in Hollywood, there was this recruiting office, and I was 28. I was already pretty, I don't say old, but not young enough to really join every branches that I wanted to. So I started with the Marines. No, you're too old. Then I went to the Army. Okay, come. Then by accident, I started to learn about Michael New, Private Michael New. I don't know if you're familiar with him. I had his father on the show a few months ago. The first soldier who refused to serve under the United Nations in Insignia, and unfortunately had a very hard time because, Clinton, the President Clinton, scumbag Clinton, he set an example that don't you try to question orders, even if they are against the Constitution, because, but the point is, I realized that my fight as a new American, as you're saying, supposed to be here, because they sending the best men and women far away from our coast. They're sending them overseas. Meanwhile, these rapers, these brigands, these politicians, they're raping us. They're killing our rights. They're destroying this republic. They're stealing our purses. And that's why I really believe you said the most important things. We need Americans, men and women who wants to serve now here. If I had a son, I would say, if you really want to serve, join the local militia. Or start one. Number one. Number two, go to the city council. Go in front of the congressman office. Learn about politics, because these people, they are killing us. What do you think about this? Is it too extreme what I'm saying? Or maybe, I don't know, people should go still to the recruiting office and submit themselves to the new global government, pretty much what they're serving now.
That's right.
So, go ahead.
You're absolutely correct. It's not that you are an extremist. It's not that you are saying extreme things. You are merely mirroring your environment. Your environment, which is an impossibility of reason. An environment that is absolutely and overwhelmingly controlled. Everything you do now is being regulated. And I can tell you in my own industry that they're doing practices to us, the government is, it's literally diseasing and murdering our coal miners. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So the thing is people always like to think in the fact that you're speaking some kind of treasonous acts. No, this is not about treason. This is about a reestablishment of proper constitutional government. It says clearly in the oath I took. Clearly, there's an order of precedence there. It says, I do solemnly swear, and I did say swear, I didn't say that, affirm. I do solemnly swear to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. Now, all oaths have orders of precedence in them. It doesn't say what came after that. It said the President of the United States and the officers appointed above me, but what came first? The Constitution of the United States is precedence. Mm-hmm. And again, back on the subject of, and I'm about to release actually a video that I just did. I'm about to put it back out on Facebook here that answers a lot of questions. And maybe this answer, the same question I get over and over is what's next? What do we do next? And I could tell them very simply, because I've just done this process. I have found an organization that I just joined. It's called the Oath Keepers. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Yes, I had several guests here that were the founder of the Oath Keepers. Go ahead, please.
Yes, and now you don't have to be a former military or a police officer or anybody that took a sworn oath. Anybody now can join. And what happens when you join is you get on there and you register on their online forum. You get with other like-minded individuals and you start forming your individual defensive groups. That is the next step. The next step people should do is seek out other like-minded individuals, train, and be vocal. I'm not saying for people to go out and start killing people. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying be prepared to defend yourself, but what you really need to do is be seen, be heard. Like you said, everybody that sees or hears you and myself, they need to go out and make their own video. If everybody did that, this video that I put out, I mean, I'm kind of shocked at the views it has. The last time I checked, it was only up for a couple hours and had well over 200,000 views. But here's the thing. The thing is I want other people, like I said in the video, I don't want you to follow me. I want to follow you. So you pick up and you go. You make a video. You be seen. I'm not telling you to go out and kill nobody. That's ridiculous. I'm telling you to be ever vigilant. But the best thing people can do right now is be prepared and get out there and be seen.
Yes.
We're losing America. We're losing it every day. Can you see how the government is dividing us along racial lines, socioeconomical lines, and anything that they can do to divide us? Because you're being divided so you can be conquered. A divided force, militarily speaking, is much easier to conquer, much easier to command and control for the enemy when it's split up.
I agree completely, and this is the most important thing. This didn't happen just here in America. It happened pretty much almost every country before went to full force dictatorship or full force fascism. I mean, first they start to intimidate you, and you know very well, I'm sure you're familiar with different pieces of legislations that now supposedly, even for me, they are unconstitutional. I disregard them, but they are the law of the land. And one of these is the National Defense Authorization Act. They pretty much, for the first time in American history, bring us back before pre-Magna Carta to 1215, when pretty much now the government, just because suspect any one of us to be a terrorist without due process. And now the definition of terrorist is pretty much upside down. If you believe in the Constitution, if you're returning veterans, you're the potential domestic terrorist right there. And the bottom line is any one of us can go straight to the dungeon, not even jail, and indefinitely detain, and pretty much they can throw the key at you. I mean, this is not even in China it's happening anymore. When people start to sink in this concept, this is no more the America that our founding fathers created. We are living now in a post-constitution, soft tyranny environment. And just because it didn't happen to you or me yet, doesn't mean that didn't happen to somebody else or it's not happening. What do you think about this statement? I mean, the National Defense Authorization Act, I don't care which party people are. We should all be concerned. Don't you think so?
Yes, sir. And another thing, there always is an element of risk of stepping out. When you do make your videos and everything, just keep in mind, be civil. Don't threaten to hurt innocent people or anything. I can't stress that enough. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I stepped out there and I made my video, and I'm probably a target. I've had things happen to me since Jared's issue at school. I've been watched. I know I've been watched. Everything I do is absolutely legal. Yes, I have Class 3 items. Mm-hmm. Firearms-wise, but I went through the process to the BAATF. So if they're listening, please don't waste your damn time and try. Everything I do is absolutely legal, so it doesn't matter. But please, if you notice that I'm not there no more, raise hell, because somebody has come and got me.
Yes.
There is that fear. There is always that element of risk, but you cannot let fear paralyze you. You cannot do it.
Exactly.
See, I am nothing. If something happens to me, so be it. If it advances freedom, I don't care. That's either somebody killing me or imprisoning me. I don't care. They must understand that.
And I agree with you. I always say at the end of the day, we're all going to die, no matter what. The only thing we have is still a choice and freedom to choose if we want to die as cowards and pretty much, have regrets for eternity of our cowardice, or we're going to at least have a chance to stand up with some dignity as a free human beings and free Americans. This is the point. When people start to sink in that we are not forever, one day you're going to die no matter what, or you die of a disease, or you die because somebody, throw a rock at you, or whatever. The point is, what's the point? Stand up. And that's exactly why I want you on the show, to show if a regular guy, a working man like you, just with a little webcam, no, even in the studio. I like the way you do it in your car. It's so funny. It's so great, Just, simple. How much you pay for your camera? It's like, $50 maybe. You have a nice little dash cam, I guess, or whatever you have.
I'm so busy with work and raising a family.
Yeah.
That I have to budget my time And I do all my videos from the car out of sheer necessity because it's the only place I can do it, in between work or without screaming kids in the background. I'm pretty shocked right now that there's not that going on while we're doing this interview. But,
I know.
I used to edit and make some nice videos. If people checked out my YouTube channel, which is a Black Rifle channel on YouTube, Alan Lardieri's Black Rifle channel, it used to be a great place. I used to do some testing on military-grade firearms and that sort of thing, and then some of those videos are still on there. But and I used to edit videos, but the kids ruined my computer, so yeah, you're going to get a very unpolished, unvarnished version of anything I put out video-wise until I get the money and get in a better financial position to get editing software and a computer. So people just have to bear with me.
No, Alan, this is great. Don't get me wrong. What I'm trying to say to everybody out there, there is no excuse. I mean, even if you're broke and poor or whatever, you're busy. It's not about the technology. It's about the message. It's about the courage to stand up. Because, at this point, this shows exactly my point. An average person can be very extraordinary things. The fact that you can inspire hundreds of thousands of people. I mean, just the video that I watch is thousands and thousands, 200,000 views, I can't believe it. And, many probably more views than CNN has at night, okay? And we can be contagion each other, inspiring each other. This is the purpose of my show. It is not just here to cry or to point out problems. No, it's just trying to find solutions, inspiring each other. And that's what we need. We need each other. So all I'm saying, great. You give me hope. You give me hope because, when I came to America, I had a lot of hope. And for a moment, my hopes, they were broken when I saw we've been taken over by these internationalist, New World Order traders. They're pretty much they're inside the government now, and they try to destroy the fiber of this republic. And then I see regular people like you that reminded me why I came here. Okay, we are not slaves. We will stand up like our founding fathers. And I like when I see people like your stepson standing up in his school. Please remind a little bit the story about your stepson, because I think it's very inspiring. And every mother and father out there who has a son or a daughter in school, please listen up, because we're going to start to tell them to these public schools that we pay their salaries, overpriced salaries, to all these teachers and all these freaking wannabe tyrants called also principals. And they better start to remember the Constitution doesn't stop at their doors, and so the Bill of Rights. Please, Alan, tell us about the story of your son.
Well, essentially, we live in southern West Virginia, and to see an individual walk down the street with a AR-15, no one bats an eye. Believe that or not. And you're still there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm listening.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Got real quiet. This is an extremely dense gun culture here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Our hills here in West Virginia, not only they're just massive geographical features, but for years and years and years, the world pretty has much bypassed us, and on a lot of different things, infrastructure-wise, we're a little bit behind on a lot of things because of our sheer geography, okay? But there's one thing that was good about that is our cultural retention here in the mountain state, and particularly in southern West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
We have a high concentration of sportsmen here, a high concentration of sportsmen. Hunting is entwined with everything. So it's not uncommon to see kids wearing shirts that have the static display of a firearm on it. Well, we went and bought Jared a shirt, and it says, stand up for your rights or protect your rights, and it had a picture of a hunting rifle on it.
Mm-hmm.
He went through school the whole day until this activist teacher had issue with his shirt. Now, mind you, he went through half of his classes that day. This guy stops him and is very verbally abusive and gets to the point of being physically abusive when my son refused to turn his shirt inside out.
Wow.
He knew the school policy now better than this so-called educator. Yeah, he is an educator. He's an indoctrinator. He knew he was in the right. Well, they physically removed him, and I mean physically removed him, and took him to the office, and they called the police on him. Now, I'm not blaming, and I come in and fire this. I'm not blaming. I know these police officers personally. And they're good men. And they do things, that seem odd at the time. But this is a small town here, okay? And these guys had to do this. The school calling the police on any child for nonviolent offenses is wrong. It's always wrong. And this school system here has an open policy. They just call the police on kids all the time. That's a great image for kids, especially police, right now have such a negative perception in the public, and this doesn't help when kids see their friends haul away in the back of a squad car. But anyway, he was ultimately arrested from events stemming from the wearing of that T-shirt.
Wow.
And I raised hell. And it got on the news. Before I know it, I'm arguing with Pierce Morgan on live TV over this situation. I'm talking with a lot of good people. And he was talking about, getting faith by seeing people act. And I never had any idea that this video, we're already now with 250,000 views, more than 250,000 views. I had no idea that I almost lost faith. That video was out of desperation because it was my last resort. Who do I go to? I went to the American people. And right now I'm holding my phone and it's constantly buzzing. I can't keep up with the friend request on Facebook. I'm honestly trying to talk to everybody I can and thank them and try to motivate them to do their own thing, to strike out on their own and get organized. And right now my phone's just buzzing. And you talk about getting faith back in humanity. I'm getting it. I'm feeling it. There is a large group of patriots out there. And it doesn't matter what race you are. This is going to be the one thing to unite us all. Is this patriot movement, this reestablishment that we need to do. And I'm getting faith from that. I've got faith from all the support that we received when Jared had his problems at school. It was overwhelming. That damn courthouse was getting 3,000 angry phone calls a day. And there's only 4 people there to answer the phones. They were overwhelmed.
Wow. How ended up, but can you tell us how ended up this whole story? I mean, the school, the lawsuit, what's going on?
Okay, what's going on? Well, after that, of course, we went to court several times, and they threatened to throw him in jail, literally.
Wow.
And that made it worse. They threatened to put a gag order on me, an unconstitutional gag order on me.
My gosh.
You will lose your rights. Like you just said earlier, there's ways that they'll try to do that. And they tried to do that to me because that's how I was winning. We had great legal support, and we eventually we won.
Wow.
Now we do have a lawsuit with the Board of Education, which is now just going through the legal motions at this time.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the status of that, I'll have to get with the attorney to get anything recent. But, the Newsom case, which is similar to ours, minus getting arrested in Virginia, it took a while. It took a couple years. So, and I've talked with them people personally. But right now, everything's just in the legal wrangling is going on at this point.
And this is exactly my point. I was saying before, there is the easy way and there is the tough way. And unfortunately, most of the time, the easy way is the wrong way. I mean, your son, you could say, I'm sorry. Let me take the T-shirt off. Let me bend over a little bit. That's okay. Like this, I'm sorry I offended you. And everything would be fine. No cops arrive. No 2 years of pain and misery. And everybody back to be a slave. And these parasites sitting up like wannabe gods in the school boards, pretty much to say, you see, that's the way it is. No. The spirit of 1775 was there alive that day on the school ground. And I really say this is the most powerful thing, not just because what happened to you, your son, because I hope can inspire anybody else out there in every public school. We got to stand our ground. The moment that we start always to, take our pants down and surrender, we will lose. We will lose. This is something that we have to fight back. There is no other way. So I know it's been tough. I can imagine. On top, you live in a small community. I mean, the risk to lose your rights, your gun rights, especially just because some, uneducated jury or a jackass judge can pretty much play with you, a political judge. I mean, this is very difficult, but you made it. I'm so glad about that. Listen, I want to say another thing also. You realize that all this terrorism is pretty much being at least facilitated by the administration. This one, I believe also in the other one. I mean, the fact now that we have completely open borders, okay? You know that. And we have, of course, we defend the Iraqi borders better than our borders, okay? Meanwhile, we pretty much disarmed our soldiers. We don't trust, no, me and you, but the administration, and not just this one, started with the Clinton. They disarm our soldiers on bases. this is sound like a conspiracy to me, but it is not. It is true. They're pretty much setting us up for we have enemies inside the walls, and they're opening the gates. At the same time, they're pretty much paying for our enemies. Are you familiar that McCain and Graham, in 2013, they were pretty much went to Syria to fund this group, they're supposed to be the moderate group to try to turn over Assad in Syria.
Yeah.
But they were funding ISIS. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I am. I'm also familiar with the recent $7 billion in sanctions relief given to Iran.
Exactly.
What the hell?
I mean, we are paying to our enemies, okay? And most of these enemies, we are financing them. So they are created. And at the same time, they are so concerned about our guns. Meanwhile, they have pretty much arming our enemies. I mean, for me, this is treason. And I don't need to be, a political scientist or a lawyer to understand that. And that's why I say that I realize why they're so afraid of all the veterans and, of course, all the active duty. That's why they don't want to give them a weapon on the basis, because they don't trust you. They never trust you.
Tyrants fear an armed citizenry. If you fear me, then you have plans for me. Pure and simple.
So at this point, all I can say, every veteran out there listening, that maybe you lost hope, that maybe you think you don't have any more purpose, maybe you think now, you just forgot, and no, you still have a knot to fulfill. We need you. We need you more than ever. I mean, stop going to the VFW and getting drunk. Maybe go to the range and start to train other like-minded, law-abiding citizens. And when I say law-abiding, I'm not talking about people following the laws from the White House or the edicts. I'm talking about following the Constitution and Bill of Rights. That's what I'm saying, because pretty soon we become all outlaws. I mean, for example, there's so many things now we can become outlaw. I mean, just because we don't want to follow an edict, an executive order from a wannabe tyrant from Kenya, I'm an outlaw. Guess what? I'm proud of it. And I will not follow these edicts. I will follow laws within the boundaries of the Constitution. So we need you, veterans. That's my message. That's why I want to show you. You are a veteran. You're a working man now. And, you're inspiring other veterans. And I'm so proud of you. And I thank you for that. Not only for what you did behind your son, but also what you're doing now. Now, I like your YouTube channel very much because, as you said, it's not just about this political activism that I think is fundamental, but also it's about, you got great shooting there. And, this show is called Love, Guns, and Freedom. Normally, during the second hour, I talk about rifles, training, and different things. Tell us a little bit about your ideal configuration. What is your rifle that you pretty much to go, your pistol that you train with? Tell us a little bit about your weapons.
Well, my practical rifle, and by practical rifle, I mean just my a go-to rifle. It is a rifle that I built myself off a Vortec Defense receiver. Mm-hmm. I'm personal friends with Bill Geisley from Geisley Automatics, so of course I use all Geisley fire control. His handguard. I have a Cold Hammer forged barrel in this rifle. I always use an aim point. I love aim point they're just ungodly reliable. And the battery life is insane as well. Of course, with some backup iron sights. It has a graduated sight at the 600 meters. It is a 223-556 chambered rifle. With that rifle, I can get on a target, and actually I'm releasing it into a video here soon. I can maintain close to 500 rounds per minute at a target. I can release in 1.50 seconds 12 rounds into a target with this rifle. Just like I said, 1.50 seconds, 12 rounds on target at 15 yards. My sidearm that I prefer is, I like 1911s a lot, but right now I am running a Smith & Wesson M&P core model. I like the tall sights because I use suppressors. It has an apex trigger. Since I'm very trigger-oriented, fire control-oriented person, so I do like to get my triggers as close as I can to being similar altogether. I like a very short break and over travel, and I like a quick reset, and that's what this thing does for me. It is chambered in 9mm. My precision rifle is a custom build on a mega monolithic receiver. It has a Geisley fire control Krieger barrel. I can do double taps with it on the human target. I can send 2 rounds in the air with this rifle if the wind is good. And I got a video of it. We can put 2 rounds in the air, hit a steel target before the sound of the first impact round comes back. It's a very good rifle. It's extremely accurate. It's a little heavy at this point. I would like to either go carbon fiber for the barrel or something very heavily fluted that doesn't really distort the the accuracy as the barrel tends to heat up. I'd like to look into that a little bit later. I use a night force sight, telescopic sight. Mm-hmm. And it has a backup Triticon RMR for, close range or multiple shots at a shorter range and distances. Those are my three go-to rifles. Shotgun-wise, I like Benelli, and I always will like Benelli. I can fire my Benelli almost as fast and accurate as I can my AR-15. They're just wonderful rifles, or shotguns for that. That's pretty much my small arms loadout.
Very good. I was looking at, you got very beautiful videos. I like also the one that you do from the helicopter. I mean, yes. That's very exciting stuff, I'm telling you. And normally, what do? You train, you got to go to a range, or you go in the boonies? What you got a place? What is the best place normally you train around there?
It depends on what type of training we're doing. We're doing precision rifle training with, West Virginia, it's hard to come by flat, open land. Mm-hmm. So we go to strip mines for our precision rifle training. It's pretty wide open, and, it's really good. A little bit hard with the mirages, but and the wind's very, very unpredictable at these places, but hey, that's part of it.
Yes.
Range always dictates where we're going to be shooting, distance-wise, where we're shooting. Practical rifle training, we probably do the same thing. Go to a strip, make sure you have a positive backstop, for safety. Handgunning, you can pretty much do anywhere here. Most of our ranges we set up, there's public ranges, but we prefer to just not go to them because they're very dangerous.
Yes.
So, we, as a group, we just stick together and we train together and we fight, and our group, just happens to, have an aerial capability, so we train off of the helicopter. We, basically all this stuff, of course, you may never have to use any of these skills. Hell, it's fun. Who the hell wouldn't want to be strapped to the side of a Huey and shoot out of it? It's pretty fun. Yeah. We go to private land for all that, and it's perfectly legal. Have a lot of fun. It's a very hard gunnery skill to do aerial platform shooting. It's very, very hard. It's probably the most challenging riflery you'll ever attempt because of the lagging. You have to just be an instinctive shooter with the approach of the helicopter, with the speed of the helicopter, the altitude of the helicopter. All these variables come into play when you're doing that kind of gunnery. It's really, really exciting.
Yes, and I invite everybody. I will link, by the way, if you go to lovegunsfreedom.com, today's show, I will post a photo of you and also a direct link to your YouTube channel so people can join, become your friends, and subscribe to your channel, and just to get inspired watching what you're doing there in the part of America. And you can do, I hope, as you said, every one of us can do the same wherever we are. We can, inspire other people in our communities, and that's the way we're going to take this country back. It's not going to be coming from Washington. It's coming from us. If you want to look for the next hero, guess what? It's not coming from a white horse. It's not going to be called Captain America. It's going to be looking at yourself at the mirror tonight and realize that your son, your daughter, they're counting on us. They're counting on you. And we cannot fail them, because this generation, if we are afraid to stand up, next generation will be doomed, and this country will be doomed for a long, long, long time. We cannot let this happen. I tell you, man, I sometimes I cry. I don't. People say, why you cry? Yeah, I cry. I'm a human being. I cry. And when I cry? I cry when I start to visualize. I got some movies that I like to watch. I watch the TV series of John Adams. Then I was watching the other one was, Sons of Liberty. Even if they are just movies now, these movies, they are real, at least part of reality that our founding fathers faced. The decisions that they had to do, the sacrifice they had to do, regardless of the differences. At the end of the day, they risked their life. They gave everything they had and more. Their family was raped. Their homes, they were burned. The limbs, they were, battered and tortured. And we are here. In this generation, we had it all, and we are so lazy we cannot even have the courage to get the freaking telephone and call your bastard congressman, tell him to stop this act of treason. We cannot even do that, but we can go to the stadium. We can go to watch stupid TV shows. No, this is exactly what made me cry. There is no more other place after this. I travel around the world, Alan, before I came here. I was 28, but I wasn't exactly what you call a virgin. I wanted to come to America. Before I make this decision, I want to see the rest of the world. I want to really see if this America is so special. Guess what? There is the rest of the world sucks. I mean, of course, yeah, you can say there is always good stuff out there, yes. But the rights, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights that we have here and we had, because even we still have it, we are losing it. Nobody else has it. You're always a subject. Just to let you know, in Italy, just because of this conversation, I would be arrested. If I want to open a little blog or a magazine, I need to ask the permit to a judge. This is a law belonging to the king before even Mussolini. Think about it. The Second Amendment doesn't exist in all Europe. We have here our founding fathers died and fought for this, and we let them sleep like little kids. They're stealing that little candy out of our hands. We gotta stand up. And sometimes if I cry, it's a cry of rage. That's why I'm not a mad person. I'm a very nice, positive person. But when I see this, I get so mad. Anyway, Alan, I tell you, man, I'm glad I found you. So many reasons. First of all, really because I say I need some inspiration. Even sometimes, I try to keep my chin up. I always need more people to share this contagious of inspiring each other, and I do that. And I really thank you for your son Jared. How's it doing, Jared? How old is he right now?
Jared's 16. He's 16 years old now.
Wow. So he's ready his own rifle, and he can pretty much train pretty soon. I guess he's already training right there. Is he training with you? Does he go out?
Every now and then he does.
Yeah. And the point is, at least, what for me, and I always say, it's not about the gun. It's about your mindset. We are the weapon. You can go out there even with a stick, even just with your words, and stand the line. At the end of the day, you are more dangerous than a weak person with the most expensive rifle. And that's the most important lesson I would like to share about this. It's about the mindset. To go there and do not stand down, do not be afraid, and act like a free human being. That's the bottom line. So, the gun is, as I said, is an extension. I don't care if you have, of course, better guns is better in better trained hands. But at the end of the day, I'd rather to have a man or a woman who's not afraid, he has the good heart, and has a good training with a Mosin gun, $100 rifle, than to have like these people that you remember I was so sad when I saw during Katrina, there was a Fox News, I guess, little TV part segment, and they showed these two big guys, they were like, I think probably bodybuilders with long hair, living in this part of New Orleans, $5 million home. And the reporter came there and asked, by the way, what happened when the National Guard came to you and confiscated your guns? They came here because they knew that we had guns bigger than their guns. So what, idiot? You gave their guns? I mean, that's the point. I mean, don't buy guns. If you have that type of mindset, save the money and get drunk. Seriously, don't do that. Because all you do, you set a bad example, and that's going to be terrible for all of us.
Yes, sir.
That's all I'm saying. The mindset and the heart and the training is more important than any gun. And that's what we're talking about here. Listen, I want to give you the floor. This show is about pretty much you can say whatever you want. Whatever I miss asking you, please go ahead, Alan.
Well, what I'd like to say is, again, the next step. You've seen the video, the next step. The next step is your personal accountability for yourself. Go out there, make your own videos. Get with people. Join the Oath Keepers. Join similar organizations. Oath Keepers it's national, and it's legitimate. Join them. Get on their forum. Link up with your fellow patriots, and develop a course of action. Remember, our actions are dictated by theirs. Bundy Ranch will give you an example. We can win this, and you don't necessarily have to kill anybody. You just need a show of force, that you're done, that this is it. We are done. We are demanding what is our God-given inherent right, and that is to be free Americans. That's pretty much all I have to say on that.
Perfect. I agree with you. By the way, funny you mentioned the Bundy. That was, for me, one of the most beautiful days in my American life. I had the honor to be there that April the 12th, and I was taking the video, and I realized, this is for me, fulfill my purpose. Even just the day was the last day. I never could experience the sense of I don't want to say use the word pride, but dignity as a free human being, as an American, standing together with people I never met, with different religions. I don't care if you're a Mormon, if you're a Christian, whatever. We are here as united. And it was even about the cows. It was about our basic rights, and that was powerful. And as you said, we don't need to fight. All we need to do to stand up. That's our first fight. The first time, showing that we are not afraid. The moment that like a dog, when the dog smells that you're afraid, he goes for your throat. No
Yes,
way.
sir.
You run, the dog is gonna get you. Stand the dog, look into his eyes, give him a spit on his face. You'll start to see the dog start to have a different attitude. Maybe this guy is not that like a rabbit. Maybe he's another dog. Let's think about it. That's the point. And even if sometimes you're gonna get scratched and scrapped, guess what? It's part of life. As I said, our founding fathers did much worse than what we're doing here. Okay. And when I say worst,
A life lived on your knees is not a life at all.
exactly. Now, question: you still working now in the mine field? I mean, the mine business. You still underground? What do you do exactly? You go under the ground. I never been. I don't have any experience in this type of. Pretty rough.
Well, I'm primarily in the field of the extraction of metallurgical coal. That is a coal used to make steel.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff that we used to make here in America. Basically, it's a pretty dangerous job. You go way underground, miles underground.
Wow.
You're out of sight. You don't see the world for 10 hours or more.
Oh my God.
And it's a dirty job. It's very dangerous. I basically make it safe for everybody to. I'm a roof bolter operator. I secure the roof, the mine roof, to keep it from falling in on people. That's my job.
My gosh.
So I have to go in there and make sure it's safe before anybody else can go. I have to secure all that area.
Wow.
But we're under severe attack. The Obama's war on coal, they call it, the eco-terrorists have ravaged our economy here with spin, with these crazy global whining theories, and they've really affected us. They really have.
This is a part of the plan. Didn't happen by stupidity, but this is the part of did pretty much bring America to a third world country level because they want to create a global government. I don't know if you're familiar with these keywords, New World Order, since the Bush fire. I'm sure you heard about it. This is part of the plan. They need to pretty much deindustrialize America so we're all interdependent, and America is not going to have more its sovereignty and independence, but needs to rely on other countries like China, like other countries now with the TPP. We're not going to be able to, pretty much stand for anything when our middle class is going to be so broke and dependent to the government. That's what they want us to do. So, this is pretty much part of the plan. They're not just trying to be plain saving the planet. They don't give a damn about the planet. They want just to enslave us all. This is part also of Agenda 21. I'm sure you're familiar.
Yes, I am. When a nation does not produce its own goods, it will lose its sovereignty.
I have a question, and I don't believe in parties because I pretty much ripped my Republican card 1 year ago, and for me now the only party I have it's America, Declaration of Independence, and its Constitution.
Right.
But the question is, I know that many miners in the blue collars areas, like for example Pennsylvania, and I don't know you where you are. Normally they all voted for Obama, or at least Democrat. What is the situation right now among your fellow brothers that they share the line of business that you do in the mining? They still voting for Obama? They're still supporting this bastard? They're destroying their livelihood?
Oh, not at all. And here in West Virginia, we never did support Obama. He lost. I think there was an ex-convict who got more votes than he did in this state because we were more than aware of what his. And he was open about it. He made no secretive, or he wasn't cryptic when he spoke about how he's going to destroy coal. He said he was going to destroy it, and he did. He's been very effective at that. So no, the only reason why that you would have people in the mining industry support Barack Obama is due to the fact of the political blindness and slavery that unions have to Democrats. And that's the only reason that you have that. That's the only reason why a coal miner would vote for him. If they were union, that's it. That's the only reason why you had that.
Very good. Listen, at this point I want to say one thing. I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for the inspiration. I want to thank the mother of your child and your child, of course, for standing the ground and setting an example to the rest of the country. And, even I never met you, and maybe I don't know if I will ever meet you, I consider you a brother in freedom. And it made me proud to become an American just because of people like you. I want to thank you again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Now, listen, guys, don't go away because I'm going to play a little song here. And then after, we're going to go for the second hour. We're going to talk about guns. We have an incredible guest, a guy that I met at the Bundy's Ranch. We'll talk about rifles, but more important, we will talk about the purpose of the Second Amendment. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. Don't go away.
If you love wealth better than liberty, the tranquility of servitude than the animated contest of freedom, go from us in peace. We ask not your counsels or arms. Crouch down and lick the hands which feed you. May your chains sit lightly upon you, and may posterity forget that you were our countrymen. The line in the sand, you know the time is coming. The line in the sand, are you going to watch while we're fighting? The line in the sand, just tell me now where you're going to stand. How much more you gonna take it? How much more you gonna fake it? Now you decide what you'll do when they come. They'll come for you.
You see things are getting rough. They're getting rough. Line in the sand. Now's our time to stand. Our freedom is gone and you bought it. Don't close your eyes and ignore it. Are you so blind? Can't you see? Just a few seconds before midnight.
He's a songwriter, a poet, a rifleman,
I'm not afraid.
and a constitutional activist.
I'm not afraid.
Italian by birth,
I'm not afraid.
American by choice. Luca Zanna
I'm not afraid.
and his new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom. 16 powerful songs on one CD from the heart of a patriot. For download or to order the CD, go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. That's www.lovegunsfreedom.com. Lyrics for your mind, music for your heart. Luca Zanna's new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom.
Here we go, guys. We are at the end of the first hour. There was The Line on the Sand, music and lyrics by myself. And as I said, not it's free. I mean, this show you're listening, I hope you appreciate it. I hope more important, it's not about the show. It is not about me, it's about the message, okay? And as I said, it's an act of love. For me, sometimes I think, I wish, I could do other things Sunday. And nobody's pointing a gun at me, don't get me wrong. There's sometimes I realize that there's so many things I should do also for my own personal life. And they're taking more and more time on myself, on my family. That's okay. That's my little contribute I want to do. All I'm asking is this. If you want to support the show, if you want to support my attempt, with my imperfections, there are a lot of things I can do better. I know that, and probably many times you may not agree with me. Doesn't matter. But you know very well one thing: I never try to. If I know the truth, I never would like to deny it. If I am wrong, I'm the first one to say it. If sometimes I may say something you don't like, whatever, but I still believe they're right. The point is, I hope every one of you listeners, if I can ask you one thing, first of all, try to share the show with as many people as you can. Try to share the message, inspiring each other. And then if you can, do your own show. I don't want to be here. I wish other people can do this. I've been given this opportunity. I want to use it to the fullest. That's the bottom line. At the same time, I'm trying to be here to keep this message free and not constrained by any type of corporate sponsors. Not because I don't like sponsors, but sometimes sponsors that dictate also what you can say. Or this is too radical, or this is too extreme, or we're going to irritate the other side. No, I am what I am in my beliefs. So I want to keep this show free. If you can support me, that's the way. All you have to do is 99 cents. For example, like the song that you just heard, The Line in the Sand. I wrote more than 100 songs, from love songs, pop songs, political songs, freedom songs, everything. Go to my website, lovegunsfreedom.com. There is a music section. And also you can see there is a new place. It's called pretty much the Liberty Gift Shop. And there are different things you can help the show with. Postcards. Now we have the Confederate Gifts section. And we already talked about this last Sunday. The Confederate. Yeah, the Confederate is part of our American history. And I don't just talk about, the Southern gifts, but also gifts from the North Army. I mean, the Union. And their hats and their flags and their memorabilia. It's our heritage. It's our history. Doing that, purchasing any of these items, you can help this show to be free. That's what I want to say. Now, as I said, the second hour on Love, Guns, and Freedom, we have an incredible guest. I really believe this show is giving me the opportunity to meet people that I met one time or I wanted to meet. It's like a circle. And this guy is the guy that I met the day, the April the 12th, 2015, on that bridge during the standoff with the bandits against the federal troops, if you want to call them, or the mercenaries, whatever. And they were pointing rifles at us. And I was there with many other fellow Americans down in the canyon. And the rifles, they were pointed at us. They were unarmed. But guess what? Behind us, we had good men with weapons, ready to defend us in case they had to. And that was for me the most beautiful thing, to have found people like him. And even I never really met them before, I hugged them after this standoff, and I call him my brother. Now, don't go away. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. Stay tuned.
You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on United States.fm.